You haven't had a chance to talk about him yet. So what are your thoughts on Devers' fit so far?
Well, you and I got to we had the pleasure of being live at the game, his
Mhm.
very first game in San Francisco in a Giants uniform. It was the City Connect uniforms, and then we got to
Those
see him
those
in his
bad
very
luck jerseys.
yeah, exactly. And then we got to see him the very next night in the real Giants uniforms, which was cool. So we got to see his first hit as a Giant, a double in the gap. Um, and I think if he'd been there for a while, he probably would have tried to stretch that to a triple. But I think he saw it go out there and he was like, "Oh, it's a double, it's in the gap." But I don't think he quite realized that. Hey, that's way out there. That's what is
Mhm.
that? 419 out there or something like that. But yeah, just having him in the lineup. I know things haven't come around quite yet. His OPS is like 700 with the Giants so far.
Yeah.
Um, but again, nobody else around you is hitting. Hitting is contagious. If Devers catches fire, I think a lot of other guys are going to catch fire.
Mhm.
I think this is a fantastic move. Hate to lose Harrison, but with as much starting pitching as you have and as much starting pitching you have in the minors, with Carson Seymour coming up yesterday, and then you've got Ragsdale, and then you've got Wizenhunt.
Wizenhunt selected to the futures game.
Exactly. So you've got guys. So you could afford to give up Harrison. You get rid of the Jordan Hicks deal, which is great. In the making. And so to get a guy like Devers, I don't really care about the money. I know a lot was made of the money right away. That we had to eat his entire contract. But because you eat the entire contract, you don't have to give up much more talent than we did give up, which is
Mhm.
great.
I do
Um,
kinda wonder now the Hicks thing, you're giving up Hicks because you're giving them some money back, but
sure.
Harrison is that's probably really all that Boston wanted was Harrison.
I think so, and they immediately put him in AAA. I'm sure that made the Red Sox fans like super happy. But yeah, and I think in the long run, this is going to be a fantastic deal for the Giants. I think in the next 3 or 4 years, this is going to be a great deal. What's it going to be like that? I don't really know, um, but we're going to see as time goes on, and again, back ends of deals are always big and ugly. Doesn't matter who it is. The back end of Willie Adames deal is not going to be pretty. The back end of Carlos Correa's deal, if we would have made that deal, that was going to be ugly. Bryce Harper's deal probably is going to be ugly at the back end of it. Um, he's going to be 41, I think, Bryce Harper, when he's done.
Mhm.
So, the Devers deal, I think when you look at it in the long run, you're going to look at it as a bargain in the next few years. Um, the only reason I'm going to have a problem with it is if it hinders us from making any other deals in this offseason to bring in a big name pitcher, to spend money. If we're going to stand pat for the next 2 or 3 years, that's, I think, where it's going to hurt you. But I don't think Buster Posey makes this deal thinking this is it. And now we have, we got Adames and Devers. Um, Chapman, Jung Hoo Lee. We signed all of those guys big money. We don't have to pay, excuse me, Ramos, Bailey, all these guys. We don't have to pay them for a while. So yeah, I mean, you're going to probably need a right fielder next year because Yaz is going to be a free agent. And are they going to re-sign an older Yaz? I mean, Yaz still has a good WAR. So adding Devers to this lineup this year, I think was a fantastic idea. It hasn't come to fruition yet, but again, nobody's hitting right now. So you can't say everybody's hitting. If Devers was just hitting, we'd win some ball games. Now you need more than that right now. So I'm still reserved kind of on how it's going to look in a couple of months, but right now I still think it's a really good deal.
So far with the Giants, he is hitting 217. He's got a couple jacks, 5 RBI. He's also walked 8 times versus 17
Mhm.
strikeouts, and I think this is what Giants fans are going to have to deal with is just he's going to strike out a lot. Like he struck out 147 times last year, and he is on pace this year of getting pretty close to that. But the one thing about this year is his walk percentage is way up. He is within 3 walks of tying his career high in walks, which was last year. So he's got a chance to walk close to 100 times this year. And, the power is going to be there, as you can tell. He may not have as many home runs just because of the way the Giants park plays. And I think, when you do these park things and you go, oh, if you hit in this park, this is how many home runs he would hit. I wonder if they're projecting for weather, because there's some balls that have been hit into left and left center that the wind just absolutely destroys and knocks down. And
for
so
sure.
we'll see how that works out for him. And
the thing too is that he gets to play in Arizona. He gets to play in Los Angeles, which
Colorado.
Los Angeles can play like a very big ballpark. So he'll get to play there. He'll get to play San Diego when they put in that gigantic scoreboard in center field. That stopped a lot of the wind from knocking balls down. So that's playing like a bigger ballpark. Colorado, he'll get to play a lot of games in Colorado. So I think those will kind of boost up his numbers a little bit. Cincinnati, actually, we already played in Cincinnati, so we're not going back there this year, but yeah.
So we will, I think he's just an addition to the lineup, and he's going to be really good for that lineup, but he can't be the only one. He can't be the only threat, because we know what happens when you only got one threat is they're going to be really selective and pitch around the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So other players will have to step up.